sort of culture of silence. You really don't question things. But my questions then internally was really around why many of them, not all of them, but many of these young girls were not very treated well. These housemaids, why it was, you could almost always tell who a housemaid was if you went to a restaurant and you saw a family of four, three children, one housemaid sitting together. You could, by looking at the maid, sometimes you would tell. And so I sort of carried those questions with me. And then when I, left Nigeria, left Lagos, came to the UK, studied and all of that. And then I had my own daughter and she was 8 and we're having a conversation around me asking her to help with the dishwasher and she throwing tantrums. And I saying to her, probably something I'd always said, to be honest. I said to her that, look, there are young girls like you who are probably working for families in Nigeria and they don't get paid. And that sort of led to a series of conversations that made me think back to growing up, to seeing maids. I think around the same time, there's a lot on social media about housemaids not being treated well, people capturing stuff on video. I think I wanted to tell the story of some of the girls that I knew and saw growing up. But it was important for me not just to tell in my voice, which is me as the author, and telling my own way. I wanted to give one of the girls that I'd seen, or all the girls I'd seen, a voice that I felt would be, to the best of my ability, as representative as possible of their lives. And so to see things in a different way and to tell their story in a way that, for myself, because I wasn't thinking I'll get published at that time. I was doing my master's in creative writing. So it's really for myself to hear the girl's voice, to tell her story, because I just thought I had to do it. So that's really a long story to cut short.
That is amazing. Wow. So am I right? So you wrote the book whilst you were at university and then it got published?
So I was doing my MA in creative, so my master's in creative writing. It was a 2-year part-time course. I was working full-time and I had to submit a dissertation. So as part of your course, you have to submit your dissertation, and I think it's 15,000 words. But I really wanted to finish the book anyway. So I finished the book and submitted 15,000 words of my dissertation. But by that time that I submitted it, the book had already won an award. And so it was really out of my hands from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Wow, very impressive. Thank you so much for finishing the book, because from the overall mood in the chat, like, we all love it. Okay, guys, I'm going to open the floor up. So I think the best thing to do is just submit your questions via the chat, and then I will read them out to Abby, and Abby will be able to answer. So if you have a question, please drop it in the chat now and I'll read it out. Okay. Okay, great question.
Right.
Okay. So someone's asked, is it a standalone book? Because they would love to know what happens to 𝘸𝘪𝘵.
I don't know, right? When I was writing the book, I certainly was thinking about a standard book. But everyone has asked me for a sequel, including my mother. In fact, my mother didn't even ask for a sequel. She wrote the sequel herself. Like, she literally sent me an email with suggestions of what she thinks needs to happen. But I think I always answer that question by saying that I don't know. I think I would love to, if I am going to write a sequel for The Girl with a Loud Voice, it has to be one that is absolutely deserving and one that makes sense. I don't just want to tie up loose ends or to just have Adu to go back to her village. It has to make sense. And I'm not at that point yet. So we'll have to wait and see.
That's amazing. I've got just a quick question. It's just like yes or no, because a lot of people are submitting questions now. Are you working on any other books, or have you just not thought about writing since publishing this book?
I think I'm always writing, right? I've been writing for 10 years. So I'm working on, something I might, maybe not, I don't know. Before The Girl with Loud Voice, there was 8 other attempts. So we'll see. I think as a writer, you always keep trying your hands at something new. But obviously we've got lockdown. I'm homeschooling kids. I'm doing a lot. So we'll just wait and see how that goes.
Amazing, thank you. Someone has asked, are there any particular authors that inspire you?
I'm inspired by every author that I'm reading at that point in time. I think that writing is so difficult and getting it published is even more difficult. And so to have a book that is finished, that I'm reading, I'm enjoying, I love it. But I think some of my favorite writers are, I think the obvious ones, Toni Morrison, I really, really respect how she writes. The recent fan of Chigozie Obioma, who wrote The Fisherman. I just love his writing. I love Celestine, who wrote Everything I Never Told You and Little Fires Everywhere. So I love a mix of books. Yeah.
Amazing, thank you. Someone has asked, who was your favorite character to write about? If not 𝘸𝘪𝘵. Let's put 𝘸𝘪𝘵 to the side because I think she's everyone's favorite.
I think I loved writing Big Madam. I loved all of them, but I loved just making Big Madam more nasty main woman, and then trying to make her a bit sympathetic towards the end. I really enjoyed that process. Yeah, but obviously 𝘸𝘪𝘵 was the one that took a lot of my investment in terms of thinking time and constructing time and trying to figure out what I wanted her to be like.
Amazing, thank you so much. We've all collectively said that Big Madam was just, she was overbearing, she was hard, and it was difficult to like her, even though, you know, we saw that Big Papa was doing all this different stuff, but because we all loved 𝘸𝘪𝘵, we've all agreed that we see her as a little sister. We just wanted the best for her. And yeah, Big Madam was a bit mean, very, very mean. Someone has asked, what helped you create such a strong narrative voice?
I honestly, I don't know. Like, I think that for me, there was a lot of thinking around what I wanted her to sound like, and it came from a number of things. And I don't know if I can do this again, like create a character that is like 𝘸𝘪𝘵 in terms of speaks that way. But it came from the literal translation of Yoruba to English. Sometimes I do that at home. I speak Yoruba, I speak English. But when I speak to my kids, I would literally translate it, and they would laugh because they were born here. And they'd be like, "Mom, that doesn't make any sense," but it does to me. And so I did that. And then obviously some of the girls that I knew growing up that lived in my family came from neighboring countries on the borders of Nigeria and from villages. And they had their own way of navigating English language, and they would make up words that were hilarious, that I love just listening to. And you would get what they're saying, but it would be funny. And so I think I borrowed from some of that. And then just a bit of Pidgin English, a bit of, you know, just, I don't know, it was just a mix of different things. But I knew I wanted her to be sort of feisty. I wanted her to be funny. And so it was just taking all of that and mixing all that together to create this character. But I'd never been through anything like that before. It was a very, very interesting, intense process for me.
Amazing. May I ask, this is my question, how long did it take you to write the entire book?
3 years. It took 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. It was well crafted. 3 years well spent. It's amazing. So Elizabeth A has asked, what authors did you grow up reading?
I read a lot of Enid Blyton growing up. I read a lot of Sweet Valley Highs. I loved reading Sweet Valley. I read a lot of Archie comics. I kept on thinking Archie was my boyfriend. I sort of grew up reading a lot of non-Nigerian literature. And so when I then discovered the likes of Chimamanda, I just felt like, wow, I could do this. And this was many, many years ago, because I'd always loved to write. And I used to have a blog, and I used to write in diaries, and I used to create stories. And so seeing African authors, Nigerian authors, Black authors get published was really inspiring. And so when I went to write The Girl with the Louding Voice, it was really important for me to have a truly authentic African. Like, if I was going to write this, it had to be as authentic as possible for my first book. But yeah, those were some of the authors I knew growing up, many non-Nigerians.
Amazing. So leading on from that question, someone has asked, what was the decision? Oh, I think I've lost it. No, what was your reasoning behind writing the entire book in Pidgin? That's what they asked.
I think it was important for me to divorce myself as an author from the character. And I think every author, you find that when you're creating a character that speaks like you and behaves. And because I was writing a little bit, I mean, I grew up in Lagos, so it was very easy for me, if I was writing in standard English, to sort of slip into 𝘸𝘪𝘵. And it would have been difficult for me, I think, to create that authenticity in my own eyes. And so hearing her say stuff in her voice. So for instance, let me give you an example. If I was going to write about a microwave, if I'm writing myself in a normal standard English speaking person, I would say microwave. But by writing in 𝘸𝘪𝘵's voice, I would have to think hard about, and I think that allowed me to really, really focus on that character. And I'd never done that before. So I would describe, if 𝘸𝘪𝘵 was going to describe a microwave, should have had to say a box with fire, or I don't know, in her own words. So I think it was just to have that authenticity and to divorce myself as someone who grew up in a middle-class neighborhood that did not know that kind of poverty or those kind of hardships. I felt that if I had immersed myself into that character and written as I would speak, I feel that the experience would have suffered or been diminished
Yeah.
in a way. So that's why I did not do that. But I probably will not do that for any other book about anybody else who grew up in sort of a normal, not as sort of distinct background as Adunni did.
Amazing. So did you have to do a lot of research before you started writing, or did you just dive straight into it?
I just went into it. Like I read up on, I think the research was really around the abuse. I did a lot of research on around abuse. I tried to watch every single YouTube video out there that had been captured of housemaid abuse, human rights stuff, you know, case law, legal stuff around, you know, how to sort of frame that story. And then some research around the facts of Nigeria, which I did not know all the facts myself when I was writing the story, but I enjoyed researching. I really had I had a blast just researching the facts and just finding the right one to fit the book. But that was the research, but the story itself just was from me. It was just something I made up. Yeah.
No, it's honestly, we've all been just like, we love this book. So it's lovely to hear your thought process behind everything. Okay, we've got so many questions. I'm gonna pick a couple and then we can wrap it up. And this is from my friend 𝘸𝘪𝘕, who has been asking me this question ever since she's read the book, which is, can you explain the thought process behind killing Khadijah? Because she was a bit like, oh, why did that have to happen? So yeah.
For a few reasons. I think Khadijah's character was to show that the power of education. I know that not a lot of people think about it that way, and every time I've explained it, I've got, oh, okay, that's what you were thinking. So we should speak to the author. But what I was thinking when I was writing that was, Khadijah is slightly older than Adunni, and she's gone into this marriage. So her education has been taken away from her, and she really erroneously believes that because she's not been able to have boys, male children, that by having an affair with somebody else would automatically give her a boy because they have a history of boys. That's one. And two, she also felt that she didn't want to see a midwife because she just felt that it wasn't the right thing to do. So again, problems with education, she didn't want to go into the hospital. But also to show the sort of the patriarchy that we suffer in many parts of the world, but in this particular story, where she as a woman bears the burden of having a male child. But also because if she did not die, Adunni would not have become a maid. So I had to kill her off so that Adunni would have to move. So it sounds very flimsy, but I think that's what makes you a writer. It's kind of narcissistic in a way, because I think I'm just going to kill somebody because Adunni needs to move. She needs to leave that place. So yeah, those are some of the thinking around it. But yeah, it was really just that Adunni had to go. But she herself as a character served as a lesson to some of the ills of patriarchy and having girls getting to such a young marriage and having them suffer indiscriminately because of the decisions that we make, really.
Amazing. 𝘸𝘪𝘕, I hope you're happy. That's a fantastic answer, by the way. Thank you so much. She said she's so happy. Someone has asked, would you like the book to be adapted into a series, film, or play?
Oh, it'd be amazing. I think I would love to see. I mean, I have a vision. I have an imprint of what Adunni looks like. I did not describe her in detail in the story because I wanted readers to do that themselves. I tend not to describe my characters, but Adunni, I think I know what she looks like, and I would love to see whoever takes it into movies or into series or whatever. I'd love to see who they would cast to create that character. It would be wonderful.
That's amazing. Okay, this is a question stemming off that one. Who would you like to be cast as Adunni in the film that is to come? Touch wood.
The comments are making me laugh. So you have a lot of Nigerians here. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It would be wonderful to hear what you guys think and who might be a good Adunni. I don't know. We'll see.
Guys, comment in the chat 𝘸𝘪𝘕 said it should be her. So I'll send you her headshot after this. Okay, so we're just going to pick 2 more questions. Someone has been asking, do you have any advice for aspiring writers?
In fact, I just did a video just now on that. I would say that what worked for me is, if you have a dream of being published, I had a dream for years, do not let go of that dream. But while you're holding on to that dream, don't just sit idle and think the dream will just materialize. I would say work hard. And by working hard, I'm saying keep writing, invest in your writing. So I invested a lot of money in terms of my master's degree, but you don't have to do a master's degree. Invest the time, watch YouTube videos on people teaching writing, join Masterclass. Masterclass is a website that has a wonderful authors. It's got Margaret Atwood. I still subscribe to it. I still watch it, where they're teaching you how to write. Buy books on writing. I have about 7 here that I regularly go to read. So do a lot of that. Invest in the writing. Keep writing, and share your work. Share your work with critique partners, with writers who are like yourself or even better than you, who've been published. If they're willing to help you to get the feedback to your work, and read a lot. There's a reason why you're reading a book, is because somebody has written that book, and so they've absolutely must have done something right, at least for that book to get it published. So read a lot and try and learn from them. But I think the biggest takeaway is do not give up, because I think it happens, you get, publishing is so different for different people. Some people get published first book at 21, 19, some don't get published until they're 50. So don't look at anybody else, just do your thing, but don't give up, because as long as you have a story to tell, it will be heard, as long as you don't stop and don't give up on it.
That's amazing. Basically, like the girl in the loudest voice. That's a
yeah, basically.
Okay. Someone keeps asking, where did 𝘠𝘪𝘵 go? Because we all just like, where did that guy go?
He's chilling in his house. He's
He just went. He just left.
He's chilling in his house. He's, I mean, it's just a classical case of you need to take care of yourself as women, as girls, in relationships and all of that. I mean, Khadija didn't to a great extent. She was very naive, and she believed that he loved her, but the guy had a family, so obviously he's not going to turn up. So
yeah,
maybe he'll turn up in the sequel.
And the last question is, why did you include facts about Nigeria throughout the book?
Oh gosh, I think for me, there's a lot about Nigerian media, how there's a lot of fraud, a lot of poverty. And I think it was important for me to have a nuanced view. I wanted to tell the Nigeria that I knew growing up. Yes, there's a lot of poverty, but there's extreme wealth. There's, we're not just a nation of one persons or one people. We're diverse. We have over 250 ethnic groups. We have different superstitions and beliefs, and we're just an amazing group of people, not without our problems. And I wanted that story to represent that. I knew that this might be that opportunity for me to tell the Nigeria that I wanted to see on media and stories. So I thought, look, why don't you put facts that are fascinating to me as a writer, as a person, and what I hope to be fascinating to other people as well. But obviously I had to pick facts that were relevant to the theme of the chapter. So I just couldn't pick a random fact about whatever. If the chapter was about, I don't know, having twins, then I'll put a fact about the fact that the Yoruba people believe that having twins is a blessing. And so that's what I try to do. But I try to do it in a way that was showing Nigeria in a nuanced light. So the negatives and the positives together. So having that nice balance.
Amazing. So people keep asking loads of really
That's
long
all right.
questions.
That's fine.
Guys, we've got 10 minutes left with Abby, so I'm gonna pick maybe 1 or 2 just to round it up. But I asked that no more questions now. Okay. So one question that someone's been asking repeatedly is, how was the book received in Nigeria if it has been translated?
So it doesn't need to be translated. It's just standard as it is. So it's been well received, I would say. I've had a lot of book clubs in Nigeria discussing it. I went to a book club of Nigerian women. I think it was about young ladies, actually. I would say about 60 or 70 of them. And everyone was saying, we've got to do something. Like, guys, we've got to do something. Let's create schools. Let's have scholarships. We can do it. And so I've had that great feedback. But of course, I know that not everyone feels that it's such a great book. So there's always going to be different opinions. There's been 1 or 2 people who felt that Aduni's voice maybe could have been written in pure Pidgin, or she didn't have to speak that way. So, but then those are opinions. But I think the general feedback has been positive, and I'm grateful for that.
That's amazing. A lot of people are saying that's amazing. And
Thank
Adele
you.
said, my mom brought the book to her work book club now. So it's really sweet.
Thank you. Say thank you to your mom.
Thank you. Someone has asked, out of all the editions that have been published in all different languages, which cover is your favorite?
That's so hard to pick. I recently saw I saw the Italian one, and it's interesting because I when I was writing the book, I never in my life imagined that I didn't even be speaking Italian. It's just incredible, and I'm so grateful, so grateful. But it was such a beautiful cover, and every single publisher who's acquired the book has put in so much thought into creating a cover that is stunning, and I just feel very, very blessed and privileged to be in this position where everything has just been amazing with the story and the covers. It's incredible.
They're beautiful. They are honestly beautiful. And this is the last question. I just wanted to ask, do you know how many languages it's been translated into?
So far 11 and counting.
That's amazing. Wow. Thank you so much. Just to round it up, but honestly, I've been ranting and raving about this book for a good year and a half now.
So much. Thank you so much.
I absolutely adored this book. I shed a tear or two at the end because it was just such a touching read, and it is such a necessary book. And I just thank you so much for your craft and all your hard work, because this is definitely a book I'm going to be giving my daughter and my sons to read, and everyone that I meet. I honestly love it, and I know that everyone here tonight are in agreement. Yeah, phenomenal book. Thank you. So someone said thank you. The book is so beautifully written. Someone said you're amazing, Abe Dare. I love you.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Definitely
well done on what you're doing with promoting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, thank you. You've been amazing. And a lot of people are just sending thank yous, but I'm going to send you a thank you email anyway. But again, thank you so much. And we look forward to the next book when it comes.
No pressure. Thank you.
But thank you, so Abe. Bye.
Bye.
Guys, anyway, you can just turn your mics on now, because I'm in love. Is it just me?
I love her.
Nah, she's amazing. She's amazing.
So cool.
Amazing.
I'm ready for her to be my mate. I'm actually ready. I can babysit her.
No, my eyes are watering up because she's so amazing, guys.
So they're crying. Don't kill me.
That's actually
no, keep
going.
No.
It's so inspirational.
I can wash the plate. I can wash the plate if she needs the plate.
Yeah, me too. I will scrub.
Let's us.
No, she was great, man. She's such a vibe.
Sorry, now it makes sense. It makes sense why she cut off Khadija.
You're a bad bitch. You're a bad bitch. Okay?
It makes sense why she cut off Khadija, guys. I'm not angry anymore. I was really upset about that. That was really
now it's making sense. It's like a transition. It was a transition, a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to be a friend. Sis came through. Not someone saying I can babysit her daughter.
Let's go.
The daughter's of age. Guys, we've got 5 minutes left. And I feel like if I chat too much, I'm going to end up crying. And I don't really want to waste my makeup. I'm not going to lie.
Thanks, Hena.
Someone's requested for another book club because this was truly a vibe.
No,
we need it. We need it. It needs to be once a month.
Not once a month. You guys are tripping. You guys are tripping.
What's the next book?
That's what I was waiting for. I was ready to make it batches.
Why not once a month?
This was stressful, guys. This was stressful.
Every 3 months.
Every 3 months is a vibe. Every 3 months is a vibe. Every two.
Yeah.
You guys, when this becomes my full-time gig, we will do it every 2 months. But now capitalism has me in the chokehold because I've got a 9 to 5 and they're trying to kill me.
I can accept every 3 months. Every quarter.
But I just want to thank you all. Sorry?
4 months is pushing it.
4 months. I was trying to do 3 a year, like 1 in like spring.
No, 4 a year. 4 a year. Minimum 4 a year.
4 makes sense. Like 4
Yeah.
quarters.
All right, guys. I'll try my
You
best.
know, we can do it.
Word.
Catherine Timon said we can do it. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys all for coming. I'm overwhelmed. I don't want to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm actually just going to buy a burger and put my legs up. But thank you all for coming and just for believing in this, because I was really nervous when obviously I posted the tickets. Not that I didn't think anyone was going to come. I just thought like, okay, 10 people, 5, we can do it. But honestly, this is more than, let's just say God is good. And I am just super grateful.
Now, round of applause for Hena, because
I just want y'all to, all right, stop. Yeah, but obviously the whole point of like my channel and I guess my brand is to just inspire people to read more, because accessibility and education and opportunities is a massive thing for me, especially when it comes to children. And I'm obviously passionate about children's literature, but I thought that I'd go and try and get y'all reading too, and it's worked out. So I'm just really, really happy. And to all those who have reading goals this year, we're going to meet them. We're going to smash them, because I've been reading and I've got a lot of recommendations for you guys. And I just want to plug a book that I read recently, guys. A book that, for me, scrambles my head. And I still don't understand it, but I loved it. And it is called 𝘸𝘪𝘵 by, my word, I've forgotten her name. Raven something, but I read that recently, guys, and I loved it. And we're moving more to like adulty fiction, where we can be discussing the things of the things. Obviously, Adoni, she was a pure babe. And yeah, so if you guys want a next read, I would definitely recommend 𝘸𝘪𝘵 by Raven. I think it's Milani or something like that. And again, that is a debut. And I'm just really loving these Black female authors who are just coming out and just shaking up the game, because in 10 years, and I will be I'll be 34. God, okay, I'll be 34. But these are the books that I want my children to be reading. I definitely want to raise my children in a bookish household, and I want to inspire other people to raise their children in a bookish household as well. And to all, like, I'm grateful for everyone, but especially when it comes to reading within like Black households and the Black community, guys, we're going to make it. Like, literature is no longer something that doesn't accommodate us. Writers are being published, even though publishers are moving mad, but they are being published. And I can't wait to find all these narratives to share with you guys, because we're going to change the world, guys. We're going to change the world, and it's going to be amazing. But I know the quiz was a bit of a madness, but we'll try our best to... Who said that? Sorry?
Me.
What did you say?
Let's not talk about the quiz.
People are mad, but don't worry. By the next time we have a quiz, the next time we have a book club, you guys are going to be so up in knowledge. I probably won't do a bookish quiz, because clearly that was stumbling everyone's head. But we'll do another one in like a year or so, to test people, see if you guys have been reading. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming. I'm really grateful, and just cheers to everyone, really. And I hope everyone has a good night.
It was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I know everyone's leaving. I'm going to send around like a feedback form, just so you guys can tell me what we could do better for the next time. And I'll also be sending around an email announcing the winner for the books and the Prosecco. And I'm going to send an extensive list of books that you guys can choose from, and then you guys can pick, and I can send those out to you guys. But thank you again, guys. Go and enjoy your night now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Nice to meet you all. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye. Whew.
Hena,
Yes, baby?
how are you doing?
Oh, people hanging about. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Don't worry, it's just Kath. Well,
Okay,
actually,
how do you think that went?
Wait, let me just make sure so it's just you and me, so we can just do like a little. So there's one more person leaving. Okay. Okay.
He's holding on, baby.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just you and me now. You did amazing. You smashed it.
Really?
You freaking smashed it. I'll send you some of the photos that I took.
Oh, you took photos?
Yeah. Let me stop recording this actually.